The Liberia Standard Teacher Training College is fully committed to buttressing national government teachers' qualification policy and to accelerate improvement to affordable and inclusive quality teacher education for all. Liberia Standard Teacher Training College is fully aware that most of our teachers, especially teachers in the private schools, are finding it very difficult for higher education.
Oversight authority for SOEs, thus leading to the weak oversight of SOEs for years. Consequently, non-compliance, lack of accountability, and waste and abuse of resources across state-owned enterprises are prevalent, thereby affecting the effective delivery of core public services and hence undermine national growth and development. Let me say without mincing words that many of our SOEs are marred with mismanagement and abuse of resources they control to provide services to Liberians. The heads of many SOEs feel that they do not owe accountability to the Liberian people, who are the owners of the enterprises they head. Deliberately fail to submit their operational reports to the BSE for consolidation and publication to the public in flagrant violation of the PFM laws. This is because the existing laws do not specifically provide sanctions for heads of SOEs when they violate the laws.
Impression and answer the right questions. And so we had a very successful meeting with the entire MCC team in October 2024, and that they were impressed, and from that engagement we were assured that Liberia's eligibility will be confirmed by the MCC board. We did not stop there. We had engagements at the State Department. We also had engagement with the U.S. Treasury then. The president continued to diplomatically engage with critical leaders in the U.S. government. So this effort, informed also by the scorecard, it is good that the country has also been on a path of passing the indicators. That was critical. We inherited some passes. That was critical. We want to thank all and sundry, present and past. We didn't meet it at ground zero. There were some efforts done. We acknowledge that. Our job was to clinch it, and to use football parlance, to score the goal, to hit target. And the president led the process, and we hit target. Liberia was qualified, was elected by the MCC board in December for eligibility for a second compact. You know that
Honorable Chair and member of the committee, I must highlight a critical challenge. Our state-owned enterprise continue to fall short of their revenue contribution commitment. Their persistent failure to meet their obligation remain a major constraint to our collective fiscal goal. If the SOEs were contributing as required, we will be much closer to achieving the domestic revenue target by the end of this month. It is therefore important that we initiate a constructive national conversation on how SOEs can be compared and supported to fulfill their statutory and fiscal responsibility. Strengthening SOE compliance is not just the LRA concern, it is a national
looking for a top-notch driving school that
Impression and answer the right questions. And so we had a very successful meeting with the entire MCC team in October 2024, and that they were impressed. And from that engagement, we were assured that Liberia's eligibility will be confirmed by the MCC board. We did not stop there. We had engagements at the State Department. We also had engagement with the U.S. Treasury then. The president continued to diplomatically engage with critical leaders in the U.S. government. So this effort, informed also by the scorecard, it is good that the country has also been on a path of passing the indicators. That was critical. We inherited some passes. That was critical. We want to thank all and sundry, present and past. We didn't meet it at ground zero. There were some efforts done. We acknowledge that. Our job was to clinch it and to use football parlance to score the goal, to hit target. And the president led the process, and we hit target. Liberia was qualified, was elected.
Okay. So it is another very, very sprightly Tuesday morning, the 23rd day of the month of December, AD 2025. And of course, the initial time check here in Odious Congo Town in Monrovia, Liberia, it's 8:30. So what a good way to welcome you to yet another edition of the Today Show. We'd like to apologize for coming a little bit late today. We were sorting out some technical glitches that we were faced with in here. But it's good to be on. It's good to be here once more. This is your most preferred breakfast program, the program that gives you everything that's needed for your breakfast. Welcome to it, and let's have a wonderful, wonderful time together on this pleasant Tuesday morning. We've got a lot in store for you, folks. Very shortly, we'll be speaking to Special Coin, Miss Special Flomo. And for those of you who don't know who the Special Flomo is, she is the former girlfriend or ex-girlfriend of Gbapuru County District Number 1 Representative Zina Norman. So, she's made some allegations against her ex boyfriend, who's now a representative in Gbapuru County, and we will be going deep and deeper into that this morning on the show. So she's going to be one of our guests. As a matter of fact, we've already spoken to Representative Norman about this issue. And he was able to explain his side of the story, even though he said he doesn't want to appear on any radio station because the matter is currently in court. But Miss Special Flomo will be here to give her own side of this development. So That is it here this morning. Don't go away. We will also have in our studio this morning the folks from the Ministry of Gender, Children, and Social Protection. That's coming up at 9 o'clock. They will be our guest here. As you may know, yesterday, for those of you who follow Spawn TV, the ministry began, removing street children, from the streets, under the project they call Save the Future Project. So we have Alex Divan here this morning, the project lead of the Save the Future Project. He's going to be one of our guests here to talk more about that project. And we also speak to Amara Johnson. Amara Johnson is the project field coordinator of Save the Future Project. He's also going to be here to talk more about, that project. So that's the lineup of the show here this morning. Wherever you are and whatever you are doing, let's have a wonderful time together. Again, my name is Yekezi Zobel. Shortly, I'll be joined by Sylvester Wowie. I think Sylvester is already on. Sylvester, good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Yakazi, and let me say good morning to our many listeners.
Okay, it's good having you on the show this morning. We will take a very short break. We come back, we get straight into it this morning.
Question and answer the right questions. And so we had a very successful meeting with the entire MCC team in October 2024, and that they were impressed. And from that engagement, we were assured that Liberia's eligibility will be confirmed by the MCC board. We did not stop there. We had engagements at the State Department. We also had engagement with the U.S. Treasury then. The president continued to diplomatically engage with critical leaders in the U.S. government. So this effort, informed also by the scorecard, it is good that the country has also been on a path of passing the indicators. That was critical. We inherited some passes. That was critical. We want to thank all and sundry, present and past. We didn't meet it at ground zero. There were some efforts done. We acknowledge that. Our job was to clinch it and to use football parlance to score the goal, to hit target. And the president led the process, and we hit target. Liberia was qualified, was elected by the MCC board in December for eligibility for a second compact. You know that.
Okay, folks, a pleasant welcome back. This is the Today Show right here on Spawn 107.5. My name is Yekezi Zwobel, and of course, Sylvester Wowie is here, and together we'll be driving through until 10 o'clock this morning on the show. Sylvester, how was your night?
Great, as usual.
Okay.
I'm
yes.
grateful for that.
Okay, so I had an observation. As you may know, I traveled to Nimba County of recent in a commercial vehicle. So specifically, I stopped Ganta. So I boarded a taxi from here straight to Ganta. And as per the latest approved, transportation fares released by the Ministry of Transport from Monrovia to Ganta is it should be 1,500 Liberian dollars. 1,500 Liberian dollars should be the fare from Monrovia to Gompa City, Nimba County. But surprisingly, that is not the case, especially during this festive season. The transport unions arbitrarily, I would say, increasing the transportation fares. So from Monrovia, specifically, I boarded a taxi from the Pacopin area. There's parking there. I think there are two, parking stations there for Nimba County. So I will get the name of that particular union. I will get the name because I have I took a picture of the ticket. Okay, so they are charging 1,800 Liberian dollars. So I'm saying this to draw the attention of the Ministry of Transport. So when the Ministry of Transport released the latest approved transportation fares from Monrovia to several major areas, towns and cities across the country, they give a number that if anybody tries to exploit you, or if any driver attempts to charge exorbitantly from what the ministry has stipulated, that number should be called to complain, that commercial driver. But to my utmost surprise, I've called that number several times. It's just rank endlessly. No one has been able to pick up my call. No one has been able to okay my call. So if we come up with these guidelines, if we come up, with these regulations, I mean, that's in the interest of the Liberian people. It's actually in the interest of the Liberian people. But then the execution process, the implementation process becomes a problem. Just releasing a guideline or a regulation and not monitoring and not ensuring that is effectuated, not ensuring that is actually taking effect, is just a mere bluff. It's just a mere bluff. Okay, and I believe that is not only with Nimba County. I believe if you should visit, other parking stations, the transportation fares have exponentially increased. And that is done arbitrarily. So the Ministry of Transport, I think if there's any update, which I don't believe there is, an update, or I don't believe there's been any change as per the last release from the Ministry of Transport, there hasn't been any change. But if there's any change, or if there's a need for any change, then of course the Ministry of Transport has to come up to make a statement to that effect. But since there's nothing, and we still do believe we are still going by the same transportation fares that were released by the Ministry of Transport. From Monrovia to Gompa should be 1,500, but commercial drivers are charging 1,800. And guess what? I was in Gompa City while trying to return to Monrovia. I was at the parking, and one of the drivers came and said, "My man, you got to rush to go Monrovia because there are several passengers waiting at the parking. They are even willing to pay 2,500 to come Monrovia. So you got to rush." That was a driver, who had just returned from Monrovia, telling another driver who car has been loaded and is in readiness to travel to Monrovia, giving such information. So I think that's exploitation. And if we don't have the requisite authority over this sector to, regulate transportation fares, then it's always going to be to the detriment of the ordinary people and to the benefit of the drivers. We're not saying drivers shouldn't benefit, but why it's true that they must benefit.
It shouldn't be at
the expense of the ordinary people. It shouldn't be at the expense of the already struggling Liberians. So the Ministry of Transport, I know this issue has been a problem over and over and again. It's been a problem. It's been a very, very serious problem. Regulating transportation fares. It's been a problem. And I don't know what is actually difficult about this.
We make
What
these
is
farm
difficult
policy
about this?
statements, but we don't implement them, and so it becomes useless. I hear folks asking when are they going to benefit from the reduction in the transport fare. I mean, those in Morovia and the environment. So far, only the MTA released prices for the different destinations in Morovia and the environment. I mean, we're still waiting on the Ministry of Transport to come out to tell how much passengers will pay from Panamville Junction, for instance, to the Boulevard, SKD Boulevard, Panamville Junction to Central Morovia. People are still waiting on the ministry to come out with those fares. But you make farm policy statement and you can follow up with the implementation because people are, desperate, waiting or in need to visit their parents back in the counties. They take advantage of the ordinary people by overcharging them, and that is very bad. I don't think it should be happening. So the government need to take, from action.
Yeah.
We don't just make this statement because we decentralize the government functionary, for instance. But you go in the counties, nothing is working. We just make this policy statement. It's not working.
Yeah. So no more are we going to announce any transportation fares here. Maybe except for the NTA buses that I know, the fares are constant. That I know they ensure that the drivers don't overcharge. So besides the transportation fares for the NTA buses, we're not on our traffic talk segment. We're not go by that. I don't want to call it trash.
No, I think it's a mad statement.
Yeah, there's a way somebody there's a way. A friend of mine you usually calls it. But I'm not going to announce anything like that. Information that released from the Ministry of Transport.
Every morning here to remind the public.
Yeah, I'm not going to. I will not announce it anymore because it's not taking effect.
So we can't form part of the deception.
It's just a mere bluff. So we wouldn't be lying to the people. We come on the radio and we announce that the Ministry of Transport says, transportation fare from Monrovia to Gumpa is 1,500. From Monrovia to Banga is 900. And then if you go to the parking stations, the transportation fares there are completely different from what we are announcing. And what we are announcing, we are getting it from the Ministry of Transport. It's not of our own. Okay, so we'll not go by that thing again. Yeah. Okay, so folks, the Today Show right here, like I said, our plate is full to capacity this morning because we'll be speaking shortly. We actually wanted to have taken on Miss Special Yafromo live on the television, but we are having some technical glitches, getting her on the live television. So we will take her by audio. She's going to be appearing here on this platform this morning. So we did an article about her, and that article was, captioned days after admitting to owe his former girlfriend, Bapolo County Representative Zina Nome, says he owes her nothing. So the Front Page Africa did an article about this same story, and in that article, the Front Page Africa said that the representative of district should be district number 1, Bapolo County, admitted following an inquiry because they were doing an article, so they had called him to balance their story as professional and ethical journalists who do. So when they call him to inquire, because the accusation is that he's indebted to his former girlfriend with several thousand, like 100,000 United States dollars. Okay, but he's failed to pay. So at the time when the Front Page Africa, reached out to him, he, told the Front Page Africa that, he actually owes his former girlfriend. So he did admit to the Front Page Africa that he owes Miss Special Yaa Flomo. But when we, reached out to him about this same situation, about this same, accusation against him, I mean, he said he doesn't owe it. So, a contradiction. And we did an article, about this that is still currently on Spoon TV. But I just want to read out the article so that you can know the background when she comes on and when she's explaining, so that you don't get confused. So it says Gbapolo County District Number 1 Representative Zina Norman is facing public scrutiny after giving conflicting statements to the media about whether he owes his former girlfriend, Ms. Special Yaa Flomo, in a financial dispute now before the Supreme Court of Liberia. Front Page Africa, in its December 8, 2025 edition, reported that the lawmaker admitted he owes Ms. Flomo, but did not state the amount when contacted for comment on the case. But in a separate response to Spoon News, Representative Norman said he owes her nothing. The two contradictory statements emerge as the matter heads to the Supreme Court's March term of court in 2026. The case began with Ms. Flomo's claim that the representative received and used $436,600 United States dollars of her money during their relationship. Civil law court documents show he acknowledged receiving the funds and signed a payment agreement in 2023. The document states that Representative Zina, who'd begin with an initial payment of $70,000, followed by additional payments totaling $23,660, and continue paying until the full amount was settled. As part of the arrangement, Ms. Flomo was authorized to hold 2 property title deeds as collateral until all payments were completed. Under that agreement, the lawmaker turned over heavy equipment, including a front-end loader and trucks, and provided title deeds to 2 properties in Johnsonville and along the Robertsfield Highway. The assets were valued at $130,000, leaving $306,600 outstanding. According to Ms. Flomo, the assets were part of his repayment effort, but claimed he later failed to honor the payment schedule. She also said Representative Zina took back the RIA property document after assuring her he would settle an additional $150,000. Her concerns led her to petition the civil law court to cancel the deeds, arguing that Representative Norman did not meet the conditions attached to those documents. The case continued on Judge J. Boaman Konto throughout 2025. The court eventually ruled in favor of Representative Norman, but Ms. Flomo alleges that the judge relied on fake documents provided by the lawmaker to render his final decision and ignored the key pieces of evidence she presented. She believes political and financial influence affected the ruling. Following the decision, she filed a notice of completion of appeal and secured a $5,000 bond through Scott International Insurance Corporation, sending the case to the Supreme Court. Records also showed a separate filing at the Monrovia City Court in which Ms. Flomo pursued a criminal complaint involving misapplication and theft of property. Although Representative Norman is not named in the case, observers say it raises wider concerns about the handling of her acts. Representative Norman has confirmed only that the civil matter is now before the Supreme Court. He maintained that he owes Ms. Flomo nothing, claiming that he has settled all debts, though he did not present any payment records. His denial contrasts with his earlier admission to Front Page Africa that he does owe his ex-girlfriend. So that is the article. Let's now bring on Miss Special Yaa Flomo to speak about this morning. Yeah. So let's bring on Miss Special Yeah, Flomo. Okay, we now have Miss Special Flomo on the line. Madam Flomo, good morning and welcome to Spoon FM and TV, Fabric FM and TV, Super FM and TV, and it's a pleasure having you on this morning.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, Mr. Yanzo, right?
The name is Yekezi.
Yekezi.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Okay. So tell us about it's good having you first of all. You know, there's been this media report about you and your ex, the representative of Gbapolo County District number 1. That should be, I stand to be corrected. Tell us more about this. What actually unfolded between you and Representative Zina Noma?
Okay. Thank you, Spoon. 2023, I think, in the middle part of 2023, I came down and then I wanted to import rice and some other foods. Like for me, I'm into poultry, Ghana. So I wanted to open a poultry and then import rice in Liberia. So I've been knowing Zina for the year 2020. We've been knowing each other and we've been communicating and whatever. So when I came to Liberia, this is how I told him that I wanted to establish in Liberia as well. So he said that okay, for the right, you need a lesson. And the lesson will cost huge amount of money. Sometimes if you pay for the lesson, you will have the lesson. But because his brother, Nakana Magio, at that time, he was in the past government, so there was a lot of opportunity for us to be able to get the license. So I thought, wow, that's good. So this is how he took me to his brother, Natana Magio. And then when we went there, we discussed everything. And Magio told me that because we almost going to 2023 election, so I should just be a little patient. And after the election, then we'll be able to give me a license. A lot of times would be maybe I call it senator or something else. So I said, okay, no problem. He said from there when he gave me the license, so then making rice is a good thing in Liberia because it's Liberian people number 1 business. Then he himself he can be able to do or don't mention business with me. So I said, okay, no problem. That would be a good thing. So this is how when we left, and at that time I never have a registered business. I only have business doing in Liberia, but I never registered it at that time. So this is how Zina Norman have a business. He have a business, and he registered his business at that time. Then he said that, but then what we do, said my brother said we should hold on to him after the election. We will be able to import the rice in the country. So let's put the money in a business account. You understand? Then after the election, we can be able to do what we're supposed to do. I said, okay, no problem. At that time, I was waiting for my visa from my business partner in India. So I said, okay, no problem. So all the documents we settled from India. Then at that time, maybe the elections are over, so we can be able to go together in India to go and see the rice, discuss about the rice, not only one-time business, but lifetime business partner. So this is how I was communicating with the people, send all documentation, everything. Okay, 2 months later, they sent me all my documents and they said that I should come to India and view the company and sit with the CEO, we discuss and things, and before be able to send the rights to Liberia. So I said, no problem. I went to Zina, told Zina, the people have sent me my invitation. I need to go to I call it India. So going to India, I need the money. So in case I see everything is okay, I can put for the I can pay the money for the rice. The moment the election finish, then we can be able to import the rice right away. You say, okay, no problem, that would be good too. But just hold on. Yeah. I thought about I have to go because the visa is going on time. He said, oh, they
Well, she breaking in.
gave me. Yeah, I already start doing. I enter in the money. I spend the money for my election, and like the people there. I should not go on CDC ticket. I should go as an individual ticket. As an individual pricing, so I have to bribe the election commission almost like 80,000, and
Wow.
then I have to pay for CDC ticket. I have to do the
You mean
so I
that is what the representative told
Wow.
you, that
Yes.
He needs to bribe
he
the
has to
National
bribe
Election
the
Commission.
National Elections Commission before winning
Yes.
the election?
Yes. So
Wow.
they can pull you on CDC ticket. Then you have to pay, I think, 70,000 for CDC ticket for him to not go as a dependent and stuff like that, all kinds of things. So I said, but that money was not meant for that purpose. The first thing when I gave you the money, you asked me for my own contribution towards your election. I gave you 70,000. You understand? Because I know that we are business partner, so
Okay.
I have to invest into your election, that at least so tomorrow when you win, when we come in with our goods then down, it will be a little bit
So
easier for us.
let's get some things clear here. So you said
Correct.
as business partner,
Yeah.
you contributed 70,000 to the representative's election bid, to his campaign.
Correct.
As your personal
Correct.
contribution, this is a money that you did not expect a payback, right?
Definitely.
The 70,000.
Definitely.
Okay, so then how much did you give him, as a loan, or as, an amount to be paid back after the election?
I gave him 436,600 for the rice, for the import of the rice.
Okay.
That was the amount that I was supposed to pay in India.
Okay.
So that's the money I gave him to put in his account. Because the reason why I gave him this money, the first thing first, I saw his brother, I got it. I saw his brother, who he is in the country, his respect, his
You're talking about Nathaniel McGill?
Yes, with his reputation that he have in the country and stuff like that. So I got like, okay, when I give this guy the money, we'll keep the money. He won't do anything because his brother is a big person and he himself is running for representative position and things. And so I believe that they have you understand, they won't be able to just mess their name up like that. So that's the trust that I have. And then I gave him the money for him to hold until we can be able to get the lesson. So
okay, so when you were giving this morning, was there any formal documentation about him kind of paying you back, or it was just a verbal agreement made between two partners?
Yes, from the beginning, we never made agreement, because as I said, I never gave him the money for him to use, but I gave him the money for a purpose. So there was no like document, like, okay, let's do document. After you use the money, you pay me back. No, that's the reason when he asked me for my support, I gave him 70,000. Okay, the issue here, I said, but why 70,000? Because like village election, he said, oh no, you have to rest, you have to carry this one, you have to carry that one. I said, oh, okay, no problem. So I gave him 10,000 US for the rice, to carry rice in Babolo. I gave him 10,000 for the first put on the women in Babolo. I gave him I gave him I think 20,000-30,000, something like that, for him to go and put in order as the way he said. So even the light that he carried to Babolo, I bought that light, the 150.
So basically, you are saying that you gave the money for another purpose, for a business purpose, but he used it for his campaign purpose.
Correct.
Okay.
Ms. Flomo, can you elaborate further on your relationship with the lawmaker? Because people want to get that clarity. Besides being business partners, do you have any other special relationship with the lawmaker, Parrot, or?
Yeah, so my colleague here is asking whether I mean you had any relationship. I think we already said that's our ex
yeah, because she kept saying my business partner, so I wanted to know if beyond the business partnership they had any other extra relationship.
Anything can happen. I don't need the business. Anything can happen. I'm coming to.
Oh, okay. Okay, we understand now.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So continue with the narration. So since then, hasn't been able to pay back any of the money, or what went wrong, or what how did things fall apart?
Okay. So when after I needed the money, he started giving me story. So I got angry. I went to his brother, Gil. So when I went to Natara Magio and then I explained the situation to him, he got angry and he called him, why you should do this and stuff like, oh, brother, I don't know what came over my mind and stuff like that. But at least I got thank you. I never spend the money to eat and to do something else, but I spend the money in the election. I beg you, just help me. Let's talk to the woman and stuff like that. So hey, brother got angry. Brother said, but you know that what you did to this girl, she was not going to think otherwise. This girl carry our name on television or on the media. You know that we will lose our election. You will lose your election, and I will lose my election because I will be involved into it. You already know the situation on ground. You know how the people not even like us and stuff like that. So then you can go do somebody huge amount of money. You understand? So this is how
that was Senator Nathaniel McGill speaking back then.
Yeah,
yes.
before the election.
Yes.
That was before the election.
Okay.
Before the election. So this is how the papa started talking to me, begging me and things. Then I said, okay, no problem, because I respect older people. So I started like, okay, no problem, coming down, talking to me. He even said, okay, but then bring the family in, at least so we have a family meeting and stuff like that. I brought my uncle in, try to talk to my people and stuff like that, just to calm me, they can finish with their election. So this is how we were only talking to me on it and stuff like that. Okay, I went back to Ghana. When I came back after the election, I saw that when I called Zina, I don't get to. You understand? Where he was living, where we were living, he left from the place and things. And when I call him, whole day in business and stuff like that, I said, Zina, listen to me. I need my money. Where I normally see you, I can see you anytime I want to see you. I have to see you to your brother place. You have my money. If you don't come for us to see how best you can give my money, I will take you to the law. At that time, not half is set yet. So I said, I will take you to the law, and then you will be able to pay my money to the law, or what will happen, it will happen. They started begging me, oh, okay, we will meet and things and stuff like that. At the end, I went to his brother. When I went to the papi hall, Natana Magio, the senator, this is how the papi called him. He came. I sing. How you intend paying this girl money? Because I think we stay long on the topic here and things then. How you paying the woman your money? Oh, brother, I don't have money. I'm begging you. Keep talking to the woman and things then. I said, I'm tired of talking. I need my money. I need to do my business with it. You understand? You already in your election. I'm not getting no sign of you, nothing. So I need my money. Let me do my business. This is how a brother started talking to me. A brother said, I don't have money to give to you. The only thing I will do to you, I will do for you is send a woman, say that she will take you to the law. I will give you lawyer, which is Serena C4. Then you can be able to go to the law so you can solve the issue up. This is how McGill talk, and then McGill say, anytime sure, if they man yet not give your money, then what you want to do, you do it. Because now a lot of time I already finished with the election. So this is how I left. I think after 2 days, I went to the court. When I went to court, I explained, and we issued on him. When we issued rate on him, and then the sheriff called him, This is how he called me back and started crying. I said, it's in off for like crocodile tears. I need my money. The money we're talking about, yes. It's my future and my children's future we are talking about, yes. So you know, he did bring crocodile tears to me here. You understand? This is how he called me. He started crying on my lawyer. Oh, I'm begging you, special one disgrace me. And I'm certificated here. The media start taking this thing here. They will deny me on my certificate, and then I will just kill myself. Her money will leave there. So this is how my lawyer called me. My lawyer said, "Special, Zina is waiting for you to settle, but he now want to go to court. So please calm down. Let us meet." He said that we should meet with his lawyer so we can find a diagram. Come settle him. I said, counsel, this man here, I already consider him as a demon. So there is no settlement between here. Let this man come to the law. Let it settle between me and this man. My lawyer started talking to me, advising me and stuff like that. Anything you want, when we go to the law, they see settlement that we come and settle with the lawyer, like the same thing that the law will settle. So let's just make it easy and stuff like that as a family because we don't know too much. So this is how my lawyer started calling me down. I decided to come down. When we went to go meet his lawyer, the lawyer asked him how much he got for this girl. He said, I have $436,600 US for her. Then the lawyer asked him, I said the same thing. Then his lawyer asked him, how you in turn pay this girl her money? Then he said, oh, but to be honest, counsel, I don't have money. I spent all the money in the election. Then the lawyer said, but wait, all this amount you spending in the election? He said, yes, he spent money in the election. So he begging me, give me some item. Before then, when he spent my money, before I could take it to his brother, we went to notarize one agreement that he and I we made.
And what was it?
That agreement that you have there, where it notarized on the 1st of September.
What does that agreement say?
Okay, the agreement said that he owed me that sum, 400 and from the calculation that time, you know, now everybody was frustrated, so the calculation was like 414,000 plus. You understand? So we did that agreement and stuff like that. Okay, when we went now to his lawyer place and things, and at that time the tension was coming down. I'm talking about like September, October, November, like almost 2 months, everybody talking and things, and so my temper calmed down and stuff like that. So this is how we went into the second agreement and stuff like that. He said, okay, now this is the second agreement how we made and things, and you understand, I owe her 436,600. You understand? But I gave her my trucks, I gave her 3 trucks from her Lola as a guarantee. With 2D, everything is emitted here. But right now, I don't have money to give.
And how much does all of that cost? All of those properties or materials that he gave you as a guarantee. How much do they cost?
Okay, this is why he came also now. He said because he don't have money to give to me, and this thing are property that he can sell, so he want to sell it and give me the money, or I buy it from him. So I say I'm not going to buy it unless you make a call. Let me know how much the people will offer for, because it's all things. This is how he called like 2-3 people. They said that they will buy it for 30,000 and the other one 50,000. So I said, okay, no problem. Then I will take it with that amount, or you gave me the amount. He said, okay, no problem. This is how he sold the TD truck with the one front hair Lola to me at the rate of 130,000 United States dollar.
Okay.
Okay. Then the money, the bonus, TD 600. Then his lawyer asked his identical money to pay.
Well, your
phone, yes.
Your line is kind of breaking up. Yeah, but hello, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah,
Okay.
please go ahead. So you just want to summarize because we have the next batch of gets here coming in the next few minutes. So just summarize the entire thing.
Okay. So this is how he left the deed with me as a collateral, and then his lawyer told him that he had to pay me 70,000 at the end of December. So then from January 2024, he will be paying me 23,600 plus like that. So this is how we agree upon it. My lawyer talked to me, we agree upon it. Okay. A week later, he called me, he said that, oh, Special, I don't have money. I don't have that 70,000 to give you. But what I want to give you is the property in Johnsonville. I want to sell that property to you. Then you will be able to return the other property to me, which is Robert Fee Highway property. Then the money will subtract. I said, no, I don't have property. I need that money. So from there, he called my lawyer from one talk to another talk, and things, and my lawyer agreed. Okay, he said that we should bring surveyor. We brought surveyor. The surveyor charged us 150. He paid 75. I paid 75. They gave all the value of the property, which is 150,000 for that place in Johnsonville. He sold the place to me and turned the transfer deed to me. And then my uncle, 2 people signed on a deed and stuff like that. He turned it to me. I turned around. I gave him the other property deed from Robert Fee Highway. This is how the whole hospice is finished. Okay. Then the banner money that I left, it was 156,000. For him to give it to me, he started begging me into the 8 months. When I lost my father, I asked him for 5,000 to bring my father back home. He refused to give me that 5,000. He started making confusion with me. You understand? Making confusion. He said that he's tired for the money. He already sold all property and does not have money to go to hotel. He no other money and stuff like that. I even call my lawyer. I call a lot of time the papa. I call him, explain the situation to him. The papa even call him to him, have money to him and stuff like that. He gave. So this when I came to Girona, I started to take him. When I came to he said that all my money. So they court asked him to quote. They said, but they say you not pay the woman all her money. Bring the document and I prove that yes, you have paid this girl all her money. No way document to be turned over. At the end, he went to Banaville. He go and sued me to Banaville. He said that I sold the property in Johnsonville. He never sold the property to me. We were only I sent a lot of money to Banaville. This is how they transfer auto Supreme Court to Code A, Criminal Code A. When we got to Code A, he never came there, but I think like 6 months later, he went to Civil Law Court and sued me there. He said that I stole his other property. That the property that I sold, the property that I got, I said that he sold it to me, that his other property, that he turned the property over to $2022, and I sold the property $2023. So this is how they told the judge that they've been looking for me for the past 2 years. They put my name on social media. They put me on radio station in Liberia. I know where to be found. The day they saw me in court, and the day they decided to arrest me. So I told the judge, it's a lie. Me and the man, we eat the court. So how can this man be looking for me for 2 years? So this is how his lawyer, Serena C4, and my lawyer, they started asking me. The judge said, okay, let the girl come and explain herself. The judge asked me, where you been for the past 2 years? The people been looking for you. I said, but in Liberia, yeah, me and the man we import 24 hours. So how the man said that he looking for me and things then? They said, but you own newspaper. Yeah, it's the newspaper. You own radio station and things then. I said, no, but me and the man we import. Go to Banaville, you will see all there. Go to Port A, you will see all there. Go to Defo, you will see all there. So how people are looking for me? This is how the judge said, but then something features going on.
Okay.
I'm not the property today. I will have to go to the property.
Yeah, so special. We don't now have the luxury of time. We are already into the next guest time. So as of now, how much does he owe you? And
right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, right now the man owe me 100 171,503. Then he want
503.
to yes, he want to come after the property. He coming after the property now that he want to take the property for me. So what became about my 150,000 I put into that property?
Okay, and now the matter is at the level of the Supreme Court, from the lower court.
From the Supreme Court, there where the council on the property right now. And then I sue him to the lowest court for criminal affair.
Okay, and what's the status of those cases?
Yes, the judge, they're looking into it. From there, they will be transferring off from court to civil court.
And quickly, when I spoke to the representative, he sent me a ruling. I hope I can get my hands on that ruling from one of the courts, and
Yes.
that ruling favor him. But according to him, according to you, there was some form of manipulation. You want to tell us about that?
Definitely. Yes. So as I said, when he went now to the second court, which is the civil law court,
The civil law
after
court.
he said, after he was that 2 years he been looking for me, when I told the judge it's lie, we into the different court, the judge verify all the documents that yes, we are into the different court. So the judge said he is not canceling that property that identical day. So after 2 weeks, the man went and brought fake deed now and said that the property he sold it to his daughter. He went and backdate that deed. So this is how the judge now been, and he paid some money to the judge again. Then the judge never looked at the case now. The judge there will say that the property should be canceled. It should be given to the man's daughter because what the man turned over the property to his daughter. So the judge never went through the case and all the evidence I have with the witnesses and things. Then he never went through it because there's a part play have been played.
Okay. All right. So what next? You just waiting for the final ruling from the Supreme Court now, right?
Okay, what I really want here is I'm begging every Liberian, they should please help me to share this broadcasting that at least that the president, because I know that this government that we are in, the government is a government of justice. At least let him intervene, let the president, let the BB people there intervene, let justice be served at the right time. Not because somebody is in that position, then they should take the reality and give it to that person because that person is into that position. And the truth be told, if this person is not going to use my money, the person was not going to be in that position. So justice should be pardoned unto me. Let the Lord look at the real for justice. That's why I'm here to be crying to the public. I'm here crying. Let justice be given to me. I have all my evidence. There's a voice recording to everything. There's a document recording. There's a document to everything I'm saying. I'm not lying. He's passing around with his power.
Okay. All right, Miss Special Flomo, it's been a wonderful time having this conversation with you. We look forward to that case. We continue to follow that matter at the level of the Supreme Court until it's concluded. But thank you very much. Any other thing quickly you want to say in 30 seconds before we leave?
Thank you very much, Spoon. Thank you. I beg you, please help me to give me justice because I'm a woman. I'm a mother of 2 children, and then I got like 3 children then that I adopt. So I got 5 children then. So I beg you, that money is very useful to me, and that property is useful to me because nobody going to eat over my head. I'm a Liberian. I will fight for my right. If it costs for me to die fighting for my right, I'm ready for it. But I'm just asking the public to please help me and let the government intervene in this matter for me.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure having you, and wish you well in this matter.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Spoon.
Okay, so special Flomo there. She's the ex-partner, ex-girlfriend of Representative Zena Norman of Bapolu County, making several accusations. Girlfriend. I spoke to her. I've been investigating this matter. I even did an article on that, and she admitted that they are, Zena Norman, the representative, is her ex-boyfriend. So I'm very quite sure about what I'm saying, and if she's listening, I think she can confirm that. Yeah. So, folks, that is it. It was a wonderful conversation. But just so you we spoke with Representative Zena Norman because we're not just taking her side of the story. So, according to the representative, he cannot speak to the matter publicly because he's been advised by his lawyer not to do so. But he told Spoon FM that he does not owe Madam Special Yaflomo. That is what he said. Even though he gave a contrasting statement to Front Page Africa, just within a period of 2 to 3 days, he gave contrasting statements to Front Page Africa. He admitted to Front Page Africa that he owed this lady, but even though he did not, say the specific amount, but he told us when I reached out to him, he said he doesn't owe this lady. He's paid all of her money. I asked him to present, payment records, but he failed to do that. So that is it. Like we said at about this time, we're sorry for bringing our guests from the Ministry of Gender this late, but I think we will still have the time we should have had with them here because they have some very, very important issues to discuss with us here this morning on the show. We already have in our studio Alex Divine. He's the project lead of the Save the Future project. We have Silvestri Zamara Johnson is the project field coordinator. So yesterday we saw it on camera. For those of you who follow Spoon TV Live, the Ministry of Genders, Children and Social Protection, removing from the street children considered as street children, for what reason is what our guests are here to tell us more about. So let's welcome our guests. Let's bring them in our StreamYard. Okay, welcome to Spoon FM and Spoon TV. It's good having you.
Morning. Good morning. It's good to be here this morning.
Okay. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you. It's good. It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay. Anything quickly you want to say about yourself and your place of work before we move on with the discussion?
Okay. My name is Alex Favor Divine Jr. I work with the Ministry of Gender. In a capacity, I serve as the project lead of this project we're about to discuss. And I look forward to a great conversation.
Okay.
Thank you so much. My name is Silvestri Amara Johnson. I serve as the project fee coordinator for the Save the Future project. So all activities are relevant to fee activities, removal of children, reunifying them with families and putting them in school. They are all within my reach, in my jurisdiction. Thank you.
Okay, and welcome. My co-host is Sylvester Wowie. He's behind the camera. We going to conduct this interview together. So let's begin with you, Alex Divine, the project lead of this Save the Future project. First, let's get to know the background or the backdrop of this project. How did it come about?
Okay, thank you. Oftentimes when government take over leadership, they are more concerned about what are the issues that their predecessor probably will confront to it. And they have their own design as to how they intend to address or to bring about applicable solution to those different policy documents they met on the docket. So when this government took over, the Minister of Gender, looking through the different policy documentation, all of those things, saw that there were need for two major projects to be prioritized. Number one was the issue of the call center. Okay. It was an idea designed by this minister to make sure that the Ministry of Gender is out of the building, is accessible to the public. So when there are issues public can reach out and they can do the referral and they can, engage with them. So the call center became one of the major priority projects. Today, the Ministry of Gender has got a functioning national call center in the building.
Okay.
And the other project that became very important to her as well is the issue of is visible. Everyone of us walk around the streets, we see children at different intersections, at different red lights, either accompanying the blind or either they're selling in street situation, all of that. So there was a documentation that was done before she took over that was done on the previous government.
Okay.
It's called the Roadmap on Street Children Situation in Liberia.
Okay.
That document was done in 2022 by the government of Liberia through the Ministry of Gender and was supported by UNICEF. And that document revealed that of the children that are in Liberia that are caught up in street situation, the number is at 366,585 children that are in different street situations. And there's an S there because the situations are different. Right. So you'll see some of the children live in the street by themselves. You see some of the children live in the street by their caregiver in the street because they were born there. And you see some of the children are trafficked from the interior, come to town with the hope of giving a good education, but they turn to be breadwinner. You see some of the children that are breadwinner for families in different situations. And that document showed that there were 366,585 children that are in different street situations across Liberia. And of that document, a couple of things were responsible for that. Multidimensional poverty was one of the key factors raised in that document, responsible.
Okay.
Persistent non-support was another issue that was raised of the many 7 issues that were raised. So when the government took over and the minister took over, knowing how important the foundation of any country is rested upon children, and if we don't build them up, if we don't develop them and provide a safe space for them, it means the country is going nowhere. So the minister thought that it was important for us to now make it as a priority project. So today we have what we call, it used to call the National Street Children Project, but last year the name was changed to Save the Future. The future are the children, and the essence of that project was to make sure, number one, children are found in different street situations, documented, and based on the documentation, I refer to the different needs that they desire. Caregivers that are connected to these children are also empowered in different ways, whether it's in vocational education, whether it's in cash grant, in whatever way they are supported as much as possible. And as well as the project also want to make sure that children who are found in domestic trafficking situation, wherever they are from, we want to reunite them and give them the kind of life. So this is the foundation of the project. Of course, as we go along the way, more information will come up, but this is the foundation. That's why when the president last year, when we launched this project, it was the president that came. He was the chief launcher of this project. The president emphasized that it makes no sense. And I believe the same thing, that we have children that are caught up in different street situations at different intersections.
Okay, so you talked about the estimated number of children selling in the street, over 300,000 children as per your own survey. I mean, what are some of the counties that are most affected?
So Mosquera County accounts for 42% of that. 42% of that, and that's why our emphasis began right in Mosquera County. Make sure we roll out the pilot phase and test what's happening, and be able to remove most of that number, put them in school when they need to be in school, give them health care when they need health care, make sure we reunify those ones that need to be reunified. Margibi sit at another place of that. Bon County sit at another place, and Nimba County sit at another place of that. So you realize that they are full hotspot, but Mosquera County account for 42% of that number.
Okay, and that is one of the reasons why you are starting from right here in Montserrat.
Exactly. There could be no better area to start to test this until we do Mosquera County.
Okay. So then, since the launch of this entire project, what are some concrete progress that the ministry has made so far?
Okay. So I will test that, and then I'll give the field coordinator the opportunity to just roll on that. But when we started after we rolled out the first year, because we did it into 6 months and 6 months. So the pilot phase started last year for the first 6 months, and this year the pilot phase also extended to another 6 months. So we're talking about 1 year. So last year we have set for the next 1 year, we have set 10,000 removal, 10,000 children off the street, and giving them access to the classroom. Those ones that needs to be given access, those that are out of school completely, to find the classroom, to go back to school. 10,000. That's the target we set.
Okay.
What have we done towards that effect? So currently, last year we put about 1,400 in school of the children we took from the street. We took about 5,000. We reached 5,400 plus children that were found in the street from the engagement with the last year. Out of that number, we found out that 1,400 were completely out of school, never have access to classroom. And the government on the Street Save the Future project made sure that they were enrolled into school last year. So last year we put 1,400, and they are retained this year on the project. Caregiver also was set aside to be met. That's about 1,000, I think 1,005. Did we meet them? Yes, we had to meet some of the caregivers. We provided a grant of 815 of them were provided cash grant in West Point. 815 of them were provided cash grant of $500 United States dollars to make small business within the West Point environment, because West Point fall in the Street Children Project as Zone 1.
Okay.
So we provided cash grant. Apart from that, we also make sure that under this partnership support, we have we have SOS supporting us. So we have 100 plus that will enroll into what we call family strengthening program that are also there. And family strengthening program means that they provided school fees, they provided cash, they provided health benefit. All of that, 128 are enrolled into the family strengthening program. Of course, in the TVET, 150 of the caregivers was also enrolled into the Crest Embassy vocational school to learn different skills, whether it's plumbing, whether it's electricity, whether it's masonry, whether it's hair braiding. So 150 was enrolled, and just from graduation, we were able to graduate about 54 of them graduated successfully. Some of them had to complete their courses. So they are currently completing their courses. And this year on this phase, we are also we've also enrolled about 150 more into the school program. So you can see that these are just not too huge, but these are impactful venture the project's been doing. So I would like,
let's go over.
Did you reach your target of 10,000?
To a great extent, we crossed. So he will just make more emphasis on that.
Yeah, let's hear from you, Silvestri.
So thank you again. I think my boss has said a lot about it, but I just like to streamline basically from target set to achievement made so far.
Okay.
So like you rightly said, the project was divided under the pilot phase into two halves, the first half and the second half. But I'd like to just include the component that has to do with government support in terms of budgetary support towards the project, towards the initiative. And so when the project originally was identified and was launched, of course, Liberia hasn't done this before. So the Minister of Self-Salute is a 5 years initiative. But what we need to do is let's test this. We haven't done it before. So let's pilot it. And the pilot was to be done in a year time. And so from that perspective, development partners alone, all of the time, government will sit back and waiting for development partners to put in money, donors to put in money. So this time around, this initiative, we want to see what the government can do. And the president, being someone who is compassionate about children development, he saw the need. Just imagine a program being launched August in the middle of the year when budget has been passed. But the president managed to use his influence to ensure that 300,000 was made available for the execution of the first half of the pilot phase. So in combination, but in dissection, I would like to make it clear that in the first half, the project has targeted to reach 7,000 children using the money made available from the through the budgetary allocation, 300,000. And of that number, the project managed to reach 5,459. So you see the difference between the target set, and that constitute that valued around 78.09% of the total number targeted. So our achievement rate in reaching our target was around 78.9% of the target we set. Under that same arrangement, the project has targeted to ensure that 1,800 out-of-school children have access to the classroom. Of course, of the 1,800 target set, the project managed to ensure that 1,405 of those children who didn't have access to the classroom returned to the classroom. And so you see the difference between 1,800 target to an achievement of 1,005 and 1,405. That was done directly under the first of the pilot phase, utilizing the 300,000 that the president funded. Now, in collaboration with GIVE directly, the project moved into West Point and the target was to identify 1,000 households that are connected to children in street situation, provide them business grant. And we succeeded in reaching 815, as my boss rightly said, in West Point. Beyond that, in collaboration with Street Child, of course, that's an NGO in Liberia, but which is now been converted to Street Child Global. Street Child Global, in collaboration with them, the ministry partnered with them to ensure that another 234 caregivers was provided business grants. We still, given the different needs of the caregivers, like you rightly said, we said, look, giving everybody money not going to solve the problem. There are other caregivers who say, look, for us, we're not interested in the money. We want an opportunity to learn, because when we learn skills, it's going to be sustainable. We're going to carry a long way. And so those ones who have desire to learn skills, we took them now into the team, and then we signed a memorandum of understanding with the Christ Embassy Educational Institution, where we were able to enroll.
But while learning those skills, I mean, they themselves need to be sustained, and the children, that are in their care need to be sustained as well. So during that particular period, how are the children sustained if maybe they don't have a job to do?
And so this is how the project came in. The first thing we thought to alleviate from the parents was the burden of school, the burden of school fees. And so you realize that in the same first half of the pilot phase, we collaborated with 48 schools. Of that 48 schools, 19 were public schools, and the rest were all private schools. And so we have, because the accessibility index of public school is very wide. So you found out that public schools are not available in all communities, but we ensured that the children had unhindered access to the classroom. And you realize that in the same pilot phase, in homes where we thought that there were total hardship, the project chipped in to provide food supports, food item supports, especially with children associated with visually impaired caregivers. We provided food supports, we provided rice, we provided oil. So all the different interventions were actually intended to ensure that there are other ways of survival while the parents are acquiring skills. And some of the parents that even were put to the vacation in program were people who also have received some sort of grants. While they're doing the business, they were also enrolled into the TVL education program. Coming down to the second half, the president saw the performance, and the government saw the performance, like Jesus saw the performance of the project in the first half of the pilot phase. Now they tend to increase their allotment. So the government from 300, the government under the second phase allotted 500,000. The 500,000 under the second phase, now the project targeted 10,000 children to reach. 10,000 children to reach, 2,000 caregivers to reach. Of that 10,000 number, as we speak, currently the project has managed to reach 8,112 of the 10,000 targets set. And currently, under the second half of the pilot phase, the project has managed to enroll additional 2,044 children, making the total of 3,000 plus children now currently in the school, including the retention of the 1,405 and additional 2,044 children. And currently now, our expansion, we have expanded from Mosrado County to Lower Margibi. So you realize that we are currently operating with 3 schools in Lower Margibi, including the Rock Culture area, where we have the publication released, from Frontbridge Africa, that had to do with children were crushing rock. As we speak now, those children are no longer crushing rock; they are now in school, doing very well. And so currently now we are operating with 72 schools between Mosrado County and Lower Margibi County.
Okay, so beyond the school enrollment, what support is being given to those children, especially in terms of psychosocial care? And
currently, as we speak, we want to say a very big thank you to UNICEF, who has beefed up our social work capacity with additional 10 staff, and they've been supported directly from UNICEF. Besides that, the project currently has a structure called the CWC, that is a Child Welfare Committee. That is the structure within a different committee that brings together community leaders, including representation of children, women, and different community leaders, different community structures. Besides that, we also have our social workers at the Ministry of Gender being trained, working together with the psychosocial counselors that were then deployed by the government of Liberia in public schools, but we tend to expand that now in private schools. So these children are receiving continuous psychosocial support services, counseling services in the different schools, and that they monitor bi-weekly. Beyond that, the parents also are receiving parental care through our psychosocial support programs. So our psychosocial counselors are visiting parents in their homes and trying to identify what are some of the challenges they're faced with and what are some of the family issues they are faced with, especially with our young children who are bearing also children, our young parents.
And just to chip in, you realize that we work with the Ministry of Education. They have something we call the guiding counselors.
Yeah.
The guiding counselor also work because they are responsibility to make sure that they work with students within schools, the issues that affect them. So knowing that this is a education, it is a social protection issue, mainstream education, whole of government approach. So yes, with what he mentioned about the CWC, the trained social worker are also working with the guiding council for mainstream education of making sure that those children that are removed, that have been exposed to different stuff like that, they are integrated seamlessly into the school system.
So just for closing that,
Yeah.
I would like to make this open declaration that this program is also in collaboration with the Ministry of Education Back to My Classroom program. I think a couple of months ago, you heard that we had that launch in Grand Bassa County.
Okay.
So they are all collaborating effort and all gearing towards the promotion of Pillar 6 of the AID, which has to do with the Human Capital Development Pillar.
6.
And yeah, Pillar 6 of the AID.
With all of these final statements coming from you, what guarantee can you send out to the public that moving forward, maybe in the next 3 months, 6 months, we will see children in the streets, saying between the cars, and we won't see brown children or brown people in their case on the second junction around the
and I will talk a little bit. My boss will speak more about that. One of the things that we thought in mind that we need to disabuse when it comes to this project is the lack of persistency. We can assure the public of being very persistent. We have a well-designed program. Let me begin with the our visually impaired parents. And we want to say to them, thank you for the level of cooperation. We agree that there are some resistance, but we're working with them, and there are varieties of programs being designed to ensure that they are treated with dignity, they are treated with respect. But again, we keep reminding them. Right now, government is not saying visually impaired should not be in the street. But we are saying that if you have to come into the street, come with an adult, a person above the age 18. But any person below the age 18 and below the age 18 is considered a minor under library law and should not be exposed to hazardous activity. And of course, these intersections where they are formed, they are hazardous. They are not in the best interest of the children. And so we are working with them as we speak. We have documented 100 visually impaired caregivers. Their training is to commence next week. And after their training, we're going to be giving them empowerment package. And that is intended to just keep them sustained while they're home. And thankfully, the government is now taking full responsibility of the schooling aspect of their children. And so whatever that has to do with rent, food in the home, the business or the empowerment package is intended to subsidize that. That's just the aspect of the people with disability, particularly visually impaired. Now, with the aspect that has to do with our caregivers, government, like you listen to the press release that has to do with the buying on children in the street situation, selling and begging. The Ministry of Justice even extended a law. This initiative should not even be the Joseph Yuma Boakai government initiative. This should be a lifelong thing because this situation I fed our country right now is an old age thing. But this government is intended to work with this thing systematically while ensuring that economic empowerment support is sustained. People are provided skills because everybody can go in government. But when we provide people with the livelihood skills that they need, they can be empowered. And the Ministry of Gender is not just empowering people. We now have a plan to see how we can cluster these people who are acquiring different skills and put them into small cooperatives and see how government can also work with some of these people in terms of our procurement processes. When the people learn how to cater, we can use it to run some of our catering services once they are legitimate. So we are working with them to ensure that they do not just learn the skills, but the skill is utilized for national development. So I will stop this far and let my
I also chip in by saying this. Look, when the framework of the Constitution was, developing our Constitution and probably putting the structures in their mind, they realized that there has to be an institution that will govern the affairs of different activities. The Ministry of Gender was mandated to not just advocating for gender issue. Protecting children was a priority. They realized that there will be some days in the future that these kind of issues will occur. And there has to be a body that regulates. There has to be a body that governs. There has to be a body that advocates for it. We are from Ministry of Gender. Our role is to advocate, create awareness, create opportunity for whether it's gender issues, whether it's children issue. Now we are confronted with a situation that's an old age, like he said, old age problem. Listen, from the war to this time, the number that we're talking about, 360,000, it did not occur today. It occurred way back. No government had the audacity to take a bold step like this government is taking now to preserve and protect the children, the rights of every child. over time, you realize that our country is so political to the extent that sometimes we get a little bit selfish. When we think that we want to institute policy that will affect the very people, and people start to resist, and people start to talk about the people, you know, the people that will tell people they will not vote for. No. This is not 2029 thing we're discussing here. We're discussing about the protection of every child's right. And that's what we're doing. This is a bold step we're taking. Never happened before, but at the end of the day, it's in the best interest of the child. And he said, before we started this process, we've done a survey. We've gone across Montserrat County. We sat with the visually impaired and all of our caregivers, listening to them. What do you need? A couple of things came out of those interviews. Number one, shelter was a problem. We know that. 2 issue was children's school fees. The reason why we have our people on the street either begging or selling is children's school fees is a priority. 3, the issue of the fact that no job is an issue. But you have the point. If I have a child, like you can see, if you have a child, your responsibility is to protect and provide for that child. It's not the other way around. Government has to put their foot down. As much as we're working with our visually impaired, like you said, we cluster them. As much as we're getting cooperative of all, and I hope that all of them can be very cooperative. I hope that everybody can fall in line, because what we would do as government, Ministry of Gender, we will create the environment. We'll create the opportunity. What is the opportunity created through the Save the Future project? What is the project doing for them? Taking the burden off you for school fees. He said unhindered access. When we talk about unhindered access, what we mean, we're providing school, we'll pay the school fees, we'll buy you both bed, we'll buy you shoe, with the chair you sit down on in the public school, we'll pay for it. We'll buy uniform.
Yes.
It's unhindered access. All you need to do, whether you visually impaired or whatever else, let the child go to school. That's all you need to do. We're taking all of that off you. Then we need to start there. We said, because you're a caregiver, and based on the documentation, we realize that you fall in a very vulnerable state. Then we say, you know what? We'll put you into what we call our small business skills training. We'll train you, and if it requires us to give you cash grant, we'll give you a cash grant. When I just start there, we'll monitor you and train you, so make sure that our money grows. And when I only start there, some of you need skill. We'll save your skills training. The 150 we put into the vocational school talking about. Guess what? We paid cash down. The government pays cash down for all their learning materials. They didn't pay a dime. The only thing they need to do was to just pay their way to go to school. We're taking all of that. When we do that as a government, it means we are creating the opportunity for you. And when you now become very stubborn, you know what we do now, then it goes beyond us now, then regulation come in place. When the regulation come in place now, the people that need to regulate now, of course, enforcement regulation comes with what the executive, right? Then the police come into play.
And that is where I was going.
Exactly.
Regulation.
So regulation now has entered. How did it enter? We have 5 institutions as a government speaking one voice. The Ministry of Justice led the process. The Ministry of Gender, MCC, PCC, Labor sat together last Tuesday, made a pronouncement that going forward in Liberia, selling and begging children is prohibited, is banned in Liberia. It's a done deal. What we did yesterday was just to begin to effectuate the exercise. And we went in the field to the different intersections. We have conversation with our people.
Does that ban have a limitation? Is it only in months?
Across Liberia. Across Liberia. It's banned across Liberia. You will not have a child in any hazardous position. You will not have a child.
How does that take effect in the various counties? I mean, the police, the joint security instructed to
the joint security is instructed. Matter of fact, today across Montserrat County,
okay.
Because matter of fact, when we're launching this part, when the ban was taking effect, all the representatives were present to tell you that we endorse this action. And as it happened, Labor has communicated to all of our people across the country. Those of who I can say for sure, we had a situation, and I will make that instance because I want them to hear it. There's a situation, there's a lady who lived in VOA Gulf. She brought 22 children from Bob County. How did we get it? We got a tip off. We went in the community. We did assessment. We interviewed the community. The community people confirmed and even gave name of 3 children. 3 children in the community are named Nicki Minaj, Ricky Rocks. When you see the children, very well to do. having iPhone, going to the best of school at the expense of the 22 children that was brought from Bone County that sell everything, grampy, pepper, broom, anything they sell, just to put that for all children to go to school. That is domestic trafficking. Labor has instructed all people across this country. Those of you who can take the people children and bring them more and say you're bringing them to school and turn them into something else. When we grab one of you, you will be the first precedent we set. You saw Beach will be your place. You will be the first precedent. Then we'll follow through with other people. All of this process, part of the reason why Labor was part of the process to ban it is because the issue of domestic trafficking is alarming in our country. Today, if we go across the different intersections, what's going to be happening? And I like to appeal to all of our visually impaired parents, the ones that are cooperating, thank you. Keep talking to your friends. The ones who believe that it is their right to violate the children's right. And I emphasize that it is their right to violate the baby's right on the streets on the basis of, oh, we're not getting a job. Oh, we're not getting a job. First of all, when you born a child, your role is to take care of that child. Nobody should bring an innocent child on this earth and expect the child will become the breadwinner. It is inhumane, it is selfish, and you should not do it to the child. If nobody can advocate for that, Ministry of Gender who has their mandate, we advocate for that. So today, we have the police, the NCT, the PCC, posted to all the intersections, beginning today. If any visual impaired wants to violate that, well, the law will take its course.
We're talking about children here. Is it limited to just Liberian children or children from other countries who are here?
All children within the boundaries, within the borders of Liberia.
Once you are on the territorial confines of Liberia, that law and that ban took effect to protect you.
Doing your survey, did you also observe that we got people from other countries? I mean, I think from Mauritania or Mali, who are here and their case are doing the same begging you see the visually impaired.
It's prohibited now. It's prevented now. We can't have that. Listen, when you see the image, it brings to this country that you have children on the street begging, it's not a good image for our country. It does not attract investors to this country. It does not speak good of this country. Politics aside, listen, like I told the visual impaired, any politician or anyone who decides to advocate that your children must be in the street, that person, not lady, that person, a selfish person. Over time, these people have been used as a ladder to claim. When they use as a ladder to claim, when they claim, they finish with it. We're not used as a ladder to claim. We're working with you, providing opportunity, providing a space for your children to have a better life, because your future, the future that you see is upon these children. If you can't help them now, government say will help them. But if we have it there, you must step up. Do not be the one going against the help we want to give you. You know, so that's the problem. And we're hoping that we can get the cooperation of all of our people, all of our mothers, all of our fathers across this country. The government has taken a position, and it's my expectation that all of us will fall in line with the position.
Family reunification is key,
right,
to this project. So how does the ministry ensure that those children are reunited with safe and stable caregivers? Because you earlier on talked about Sylvester, you talked about resistance from some of the parents. Probably this could be their anxiety as to whether their children are kind of reunited with safe and stable family.
So again, I want to say thank you, and it's good that some of these things that we didn't mention, you are providing us the platform so that we can re-emphasize on them. The process of reunification has different stages and they have different processes. So what happened with children who are staying immediately in the street? The first thing we want to know whether that child is staying with a parent at the moment. So when that child provides information about their caregivers, we have something we call instant reunification. The instant reunification is a child is staying in the street, is partially documented, and that child is accompanied to the home of where the stay of the caregiver, and the caregiver information is also documented, and the immediate counseling opportunity is provided, and that child is immediately reunified. In the instant case where a child is identified and the ability to reach the caregiver becomes a challenge, a well-protective caregiver is a challenge. That child is immediately transferred into our transit center, and family treason continues, and subsequent reunification follow, because we want to ensure that whoever we reunify these children with are the appropriate people. There are some instances where we realize that in the instant case where children who are actually living in the street with their caregivers, we understand that the caregiver is not in the right position. For example, the caregiver is a drugs user. Of course, we believe that that child is in a harm way to survive or to live within the confine of the caregiver. What the ministry does is to transfer that child into our transit center, and other investigations are done to ensure that there are other family members who we can identify to entrust them with. And one thing we are careful with, we are also careful with the fact that we do not want to institutionalize children. And so the project under its structure also did what we call foster parenting. We have about 150 foster parents, volunteer Liberian women who said, look, we want to support the government in providing family-based care for children who we can now find, family for immediately. So those people have been trained and certificated with support from UNICEF. So as we speak, those people are under standby. In the instant case where we have children in that kind of situation, of course, we reunify them, because we want these children not to be institutionalized, but to have the feeling of family, knowing siblings, knowing who is a brother, who is a nephew, who is an uncle. Because when we institutionalize them, they're not going to grow up in that kind of family orientation. And so what we do is that the foster parents are providing that kind of assistance to government, and we provide them a quality support once the child is in their care, and that child in their care has been supported into school by the government through this program.
I also take into consideration that some of these caregivers are in very constrained situation, that they are surviving through the means of the case. So in that instance, what do you
I think I know what he's talking about. In the instant case where the family is using the children to support them, and that's the wrong way around. The children, in no circumstance that the children should be used as a breadwinner.
But that's the only means of survival.
That cannot be the only means of survival. You are the children. There must be a predetermination for having children. So in the instant case where you are a visually impaired or you are disabled, perhaps you had the children before you became visually impaired. That's what the government is coming up with, a structural support program to ensure that there are ways that you can be able to survive and sustain with the family. And that's why in the kind of extreme cases, we ensure that the children have access to school. And not just putting them in school and dashing them on the campuses, but ensure that everything it takes for the child to acquire quality education are provided by government.
So he just to emphasize again, we have to keep in context that this project is for the children.
For the children.
The children, that's what the project is about. But indirectly, when the children are connected to, then they become indirect beneficiary. But the direct beneficiary of the project is for the children.
Yeah, because some of these cases are connected directly to the caregiver.
Exactly.
And I know of some situations where they are in a very, very constrained situation where.
And yet they still having children too. And yet they still having children. That's part of the awareness, that's part of the education. People have to understand. And part of the reason why we're on this radio is also to re-emphasize. Look, listen, before you think about, one of my pastors told me one day, he said, one of the worst things to commit, one of the hardest things to commit is that fornication. And then when I say because you have to think about fornication. You don't go in public to fornicate. You will think about how you do it. You go in the room, you go do everything. You have to imagine it. So for someone to even imagine the end result of having intercourse, the end result about that baby. So if you didn't do that, baby come. We want to encourage the public. We want to also, part of the awareness that will be coming on the different radio jingles that will be coming on, we will also focus on these different things. Now, listen, children are innocent. Children are at the disadvantage of what's going on here. If I can't afford and I put a child, I'm going against the child's right. They are the disadvantage. And we cannot justify it on, the parent not get job. The parent should not just, no civilized society, no individual that is cautious should have that kind of justification. Doesn't make sense.
Okay. So folks, if you just tune in, this is the Today Show right here on Spoon 107.5. The show is been simulcast on Fabric 101.1 and Super 95.5. We also live on our various social media platforms, Spoon TV Live, Super TV Live, Fabric TV Live, and then our YouTube channel as Spoon Talk. And we have in our studio Mr. Alex Divan. He's the project lead of the Save the Future project at the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection. And alongside him is Sylvester Amara Johnson, is the project field coordinator of the Save the Future project at the Ministry of Gender, Children, and Social Protection. We've got a limited time to go. So what are the biggest challenges so far that the ministry is facing in implementing this project?
I'd like you to take it from
So,
we're going to feed, I will take it from there.
And in the game, the issue of acceptance, the aspect of people realizing what the real thing's supposed to be, is one challenge. People still believe that the reasons why they have children, even if they are as young as below the age of 18, the essence of having them is to support them. The next thing is ignorance. A lot of us, a lot of the public are ignorant to the laws. And that's why we think it is important to continue to engage the media and making sure that people understand what the laws are and what the law stands for. And then the another thing is the responsibility of the different government institutions. Like my boss rightly said, the Ministry of Gender has a statutory mandate. Another challenge, of course, that the minister re-emphasized on and what you see us working on currently is inter-ministerial collaboration and collaboration with CSOs and local organizations, community-based organizations. And this is why we are strengthening that at the moment. Currently, that's one structure we didn't talk about. We had a very mass meeting 3 days ago with the commissioners across Montserrat County. We're beginning with Montserrat County, the Commissioner Council, the Liberian Marketing Association, the Council of Churches, the Muslim Council of Liberia. We've had all of them in one room, trying to consolidate effort from all walls of life and all walls of organizations across Liberia to ensure that we have a synchronized front. So I think if we talk about challenge, the issue of funding has now been, because government is at the forefront of that. The government is making sure, and as we speak right now, there is a new allotment coming up. Government is consistent with supporting this project. So I think what has been a challenge is public cooperation. And I think we are getting over that. You can see yesterday we're in the street and you can see the reaction from your own platform. Of course, we have a lot of people still trying to politicize it. And I think we should, get out of the political garment and see Liberia first.
Okay. So just to join in there, I think that we increase awareness is something that we're and part of the reason why we're here. And yesterday you took over, the activities. So we need to increase awareness a lot more, to talk about it, do jingles, appear on radio stations. We're hoping that the media can, of course, see this as an initiative that they can own as well, to help us. So we need to increase awareness in that direction. Also, he talked about collaboration. It's very key. At the community level, grassroots level, to making sure that the state agencies are working, the mayor's offices and the commissioners and all of these people are working. We started a process. We want to encourage more of that kind of sort of collaborations where I can be in my office and something's happening in Nuku Town, for instance, and the community chairman can talk to me and say there is this child that's been beating. And they can reach out to us through the 116 number that we have at the call center. They can just call us and we can immediately go and intervene. So that sort of collaboration at a grassroots level is one thing that we see. Also, it's a little challenge, but I think we're putting our foot down, we're getting it correct. The next thing, which is very critical, is this thing of politics. We have to step out of politics. Nobody should politicize children, Benny. Children in the street, What has the government done? The government say, before we even talk, since our responsibility is as a mandate is to advocate, is to create program as gender, let's develop one program that we address that. We're doing it. So people should not justify, the government has created joy so that people be on the street. Those are not things, because the reality is that at the end of the day, if the children remain on the street, there's this scripture that says in the book of Ezekiel. I'm a Christian, so I love to talk more about that. When this story about where they asked the guy, can this dry bone live again? And he said, I don't know, only you know God. But the essence was that it was a great nation. A nation was to be great. Israel, that was scattered over the place, that were boneless, no bone, nothing on our skin. But God told the man, said, talk to this bone and let the bone come. And he prophesied, the Bible says, all these pieces started to come back together. It's the case of Liberia. All these these are the potential of our country. They scatter over the place. They are the red. You pass, you see them in the red in your car. You put your windshield up, and you say, "Oh, they put their body. They can move on the street. What they on the street? What they on the street?" We talk all the things. When we see them, we sit down. We even say, "My friend." We see these sarcastic things to this future of our children, and government say, "Let's take them off." And you are the same person say, "Oh, you're doing people." That's been sycophantic. That's been political. We don't politicize, and we should not politicize. We as government know the responsibility is to make sure that the children are taken from there, reunify when they need to be reunified, provide access to education, provide access to healthcare, and that's exactly what the project is intended to do, and that's what we do.
Thank you very much. It's 8 minutes past 10 o'clock. We've already gone beyond our normal time here. But the last question I would like to ask, because I've heard both of you talk about, street children. So does this only target street children? Because there are other children into the communities who are wayward, abusing drugs and all other things. Does the program also target them?
So I'll sometimes we'll talk more about that. But the point is that when a child is found in the community on the street doing nothing, and our social worker goes in the community, do community mapping, and encountered them at school time, you still be in school, you're not in school, you selling, or you play football, it's concerning. Ministry of Trainer says, find out what's happened to that child, document it, get the information, and let's follow up at their homes. These are the children. It's not necessarily because they have to be begging in the street, but children that are in all sort of community situation, environmental, whatever it is. When we see them, our responsibility. When our child or that children, our responsibility, we take care of them.
Okay. Finally, let's try to summarize, and you can speak to that in your comments.
Okay, then, that's great.
Your party comments.
Yeah, so again, we want to say a very big thank you to the Spoon family. Yesterday, you were with us in the street when we commenced the enforcement of the ban, and we appreciate that coverage. And today, again, we are here talking to the public through your platform. We want to say a very big thank you. So, briefly to what my boss said, there are different government programs, right? The Ministry of Gender is also collaborating with the Ministry of Youth and Sport and Ministry of Health on the rehabilitation program that has to do with disadvantaged youth, that focus directly on children who are drug users, and the Ministry of Education is also running a very big program